Hi, everybody. It's Cleo and Pearl with Scuttlebutt. Actually, it's the other way around. It's it's Scuttlebutt with
Scuttlebutt
Cleo
with
and
Cleo and
Pearl.
Pearl. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm a little dyslexic, always have been. So I get things screwed up like that. Anyway, thank you for coming. And we've got some great things to talk about. We're right in the middle of the big peace agreement between the United States and Iran that doesn't seem we wish that it would work, but it doesn't seem to be going too well. And you know, it's just a matter of time before. Well, I don't know. The Republicans are trying to support Trump on this, but it's not working out too well. So anyway, we're going to discuss that, and then we've got some other things to talk about. Like I don't know if you guys all heard, but the reflecting pool disaster. Oh my God, we'll talk about that in a little bit. And I don't know if you're interested in this, but Trump has himself a new plane, a new Air Force One. We'll talk about that too. So. Um, Pearl has been on vacation, and last week we did a show from Seattle. That's where I'm at,
hmm
and now she's back home, and so she's ready for the show. Isn't that right?
That is right. I am ready for the show.
So before we get started, if you just take a moment to go down below this video and click the subscribe button, it would really help Scuttlebutt with Cleo and Pearl, and we really appreciate it because we're still kind of new, um, and we're still kind of trying to figure out exactly how we want to do this. So, but do your do subscribe because we're going to come up with some really good stuff both now and in the future. So, let's talk about the Iran nuclear deal between the United States and Iran. Now, my first problem with this whole thing. And I had to do some research to figure all this out. I suppose a lot of you already knew this, but President Obama actually put together a great deal back in 2015. And it's the one deal that Trump keeps saying was just a horrible deal. He actually, at one point, I think, threatened that Obama should go to jail for it because it was just a horrible deal that he put together. Well, surprise, surprise. It was so horrible that it worked out perfectly. It started back in 2015. It's a 160-page multilateral agreement that placed strict verifiable limits on Iran's nuclear program, including caps on uranium enrichment, stockpile size, centrifuges, and mandatory international inspections. There was some other countries that supported this thing, and it was between the U.S., the EU, China, Russia, France, Germany, and the UK, and it was fully enforceable. And Iran complied until Trump withdrew in 2018, 3 years later. And what Trump did is he looked at it, and he's got this, he's always trying to retaliate against anybody that he doesn't care for or anybody that said something that he didn't like. And so that's when he looked at Obama's deal and just ripped it up and said, no, we're not doing this
Um,
anymore. Even though all these countries I just mentioned did try to get him to not do that. But no, he wouldn't listen because he knew a better way. Apparently his better way was to have a war. So um, after he did that, Iran just went, "Oh, you don't care anymore. All right, good." So they started rebuilding their whole nuclear thing, redoing the whole, you know, getting the enrichment of the uranium enrichments, doing all this stuff, and yes, getting ready to create a bomb. So when when Trump finds that out, that's when he starts this war in 2026. Um, this is why people are a little bit not supporting the war at all. But right now, we are totally supporting if they could stop it. Unfortunately, Trump is getting panicky. And I think you probably read this on someplace on the internet because it's all over the place that he's afraid now. Yeah, he started something he can't get stopped. And so anyway, he put together this 14 point um, memorandum of understanding.
Now,
That's
do
what
you
they're
really
calling it.
think he put it together or did somebody else write it?
Well, I tell you, the way it's written, I, you know, it's not a bad thing. I no, I do. I think he actually physically wrote it. No, I think he got together with other people and maybe actually took some advice from other people on how to do this. Um, but the problem is so far it hasn't worked out. And so they've given it this 60-day thing. I mean, they're just trying so hard to act like that the gas prices are going to go down and then we'll start, the strait will be open, where everybody will start getting oil and gas. Um, and that's not happening either. As a matter of fact,
Mm.
just was it yesterday or today that they actually closed the strait again so that they couldn't do that. So the ships can't get through. Iran did that because nobody was supporting this new plan um, called the Memorandum of Understanding. It wasn't, people weren't they were started bombing each other or something. So anyway, this is not working out, but we can only hope for the best because none of us want war, and it has been extremely costly. People have lost their lives. There's been so much destruction in Iran, and
And gas
Trump
prices are through the roof.
and gas,
It cost
absolutely
me
gas.
almost $80 to fill up my rental car. I mean, ridiculous. Just
Right.
ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah, it does. It costs a lot, it costs a lot, and it's
Yeah.
all because of this war, and it's all because that Trump wanted to do this. That this is the main point that you have to really understand that this very unpopular war, it could have been easily. It never had to get started in the first
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
He should have never ripped up what Obama did.
Right.
But he just, he got this idea that it would just, I don't know, that it just wasn't right for him. Unfortunately, it was very right for Iran. They stuck to it. They backed right off. And I read somewhere something about 97% of their uranium and stuff the whole thing had been decreased by about 97%. Now, that might be wrong. I take a lot of my information from the internet. I don't trust half of what I try to verify things. But anyway, that's what I heard. And that's what it said.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's right or not, but so they signed the peace agreement, and it just it's not working out.
A 12-year-old could have written that. A 12-year-old.
Yeah, well,
It did not include anything that would hold their feet to the fire if they broke the rules of the agreement.
well,
Nothing.
it kind of looked like Trump was like waving the white flag, like he was just
$300 billion in reparations to Iran.
yeah.
I hope
Well,
that's coming out of Trump's pocket, but no, it's going to come out of our pocket.
probably. I don't know for fact where that
Well,
300
if
billion's
they
coming.
ever get to
They
signing
well,
it.
they did. They talked about the certain funds being withheld, and I don't
Oh,
know
so
if
they
that
might just
300
unfreeze those funds and give it back to them or something?
something like that, but I don't know if it
That's
was
what
300
Obama did.
billion.
That's what Obama did.
Oh, okay.
So because Obama did it, Trump probably won't want to do it because he's an
True.
idiot like that. But that's
True.
him. I'm just going to adjust my camera really quick. I'm sorry. Just let me do this here because I just want to have the same amount of.
You want us to be equal?
I
Equal?
do. I do. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing with me, and I need to. zoom in just a little bit because my head isn't as big as yours. So
So, so then, also this last week, I think it's been in the last week. I don't know. Things happen so fast. The big circus at the White House with the big boxing, or it wasn't boxing, it was a fighting match.
wrestling.
Was that what it was?
Oh
I
yes, and I have my okay. Yeah, wrestling.
okay,
Oh,
and
God.
just so dumb. It just did not work out well for Trump on that
No,
either. And it was his birthday, and all these things were happening, and then everybody started noticing, oh my goodness, we totally destroyed all the grass and the trees and stuff in the whole area where they built the, what was it called, the claw or something?
the cage.
The cage. Okay, the cage. It's a claw. I can't keep up. I'm trying to.
You're doing good. You're doing fine, Cleo. Just keep going.
So anyway, they had the big circus and they had all these people fighting. Yes, do that. And yeah, it was terrible. Okay, it was terrible. And then just talk about degrading the White House. They kept saying stuff like, never before have they done this. Yeah, look at what
For
you
good
did.
reason. Yeah.
For good reason. Yes. It was
But he's
just,
done so many things like that, like ripping up the rose garden and paving it over to be a fucking patio. Oh, excuse my French. I'm sorry. To be a patio, that never before.
well,
Um,
and totally destroying one of the wings, the East Wing, I believe, of the
yeah,
White House.
blowing up the East Wing. Yeah, that's another
Taking a
never
wrecking
before.
ball to that. And then,
Well, I mean, but he was jealous of Melania because never before had they had those Handmaid Tales blood red Christmas trees like she put up, and so she was one upping him with the firsts, and he couldn't stand it. So I can see why he did it. Oh my God! So
uh,
you gonna get to the guy with talking about Michelle Obama?
I am here in a minute.
Okay,
But
go ahead.
I mean, yeah, the things that he has done, there was a judge that said, you can't do this with the East Wing and you can't build the ballroom and stuff. And they just looked around and went, too late. We've already put in like 50 billion tons of rebar and already spent a bunch of money on it. So they just keep going. I think they just ignored the judge. I don't know for sure. Again, I get my I get my information off the internet. Not totally reliable, but yeah. So during the circus, after some guy, can't remember his name. Let me see if I got his name. I don't.
Josh something. Josh
Uh,
Hokett, I think.
Pokit. Yeah, it was kind of something like Hokey or yeah, Josh Hokett. Hokey Pokey. I don't know what his name was, but he comes out, and I was so totally confused about this. And Pearl, being my sister, she tried to get me to understand. I still don't understand. But anyway, so he gets done with this fight and he wins. And then he turns around and he says, Michelle Obama is a man, and looks around like he's really said something. And then he said, am I right, America? And I'm like, no, where in the world did you get an idea like that? Well, I didn't know it was a thing. I didn't know it was a thing to call a woman a man to make it somehow derogatory. So my first thought was, oh my God, this guy has been hit in the head so many times. he just he doesn't know what he's saying. And then when he asked America to support him on like, is he right? I'm thinking, why didn't somebody just step up and go, you're wrong, absolutely wrong?
Or
Well,
just cut the camera and say, okay, go to commercial. Go, like
do
just get him off. Get him off.
do something else. I'm still not convinced. I even went so far. I was so sure that it had to be something like that I even went to Copilot and asked Copilot, "Does this guy got brain damage?" And they said, "No, he's just an asshole." So
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. All those guys in Trump's orbit and Trump himself, they are all what I will call homo envious. They they love the male form. They love dressing up the male form. They love the strength and all of that stuff. They want their men to be manly men. They want to be manly men. I mean,
So
basically,
they
they're all.
call so they call woman a
Well, I'm getting to
man.
that because they all basically are, closeted gay, but they want their women. They want their women to be Barbie dolls, Stepford wives. I mean, they all have to go. The ones that have the money all have to go and get the Mar-a-Lago facelift, and they all have to have the ridiculous extensions in their hair, and you know, padded boobs or fake boobs, padded butts or fake butts, and
But
they all got.
if a woman wants to do that, that's her business.
But it's not why they're doing it. I mean, look at them; they all look the same. But anyway, the men, I think, are just homo envious. They all want what they can't have, which is another man. They don't dare say, I want to sleep with that guy, but listen to what they say. Why do you have a wrestling match on the White House lawn? Because it's a lot of half naked men getting slippery and wet and looking all shiny and everything. And those guys, those homo envious guys, are loving it. They're loving
Wow.
it.
So you
That's
think
what I think it's
you
about.
you think this has something to do with men having sex with other men?
Well, they can't unless they're on Grinder and it's the Republican convention. So they dare not admit to that. But look at Trump. I mean, when that wrestler guy or somebody was like I don't know if Trump was giving him an award or whatever, but he was with him on a microphone and he was touching his thigh. I mean, the guy's thigh was wider than my shoulders. It was huge, and Trump just couldn't resist touching it. When Zoran Mamdani was in his office, he's like, "Oh, you're so good looking. You're so handsome and powerful and so
Oh, yeah, he
successful."
did do that, didn't
He
he?
was drooling over him. I mean,
That's
maybe
just
something else
weird.
over him. Yeah. I mean, that
Wow.
Trump isn't even, I mean, he didn't even make any bones about it. He went walking up to his seat for that UFC thing with the guy. What's his name? White or something like that runs the USC?
Oh, I
UFC?
don't know. I didn't pay any attention to who
Oh
the
my God. Yeah,
particulars.
they had this camera shot with all the not Hail to the Chief, but some other song that was, probably like YMCA or something, because he loves the
Oh,
gay
that's
anthem
right.
too. He loves the gay anthem, that or Ave Maria. And I'm just like, how gay are you? God, we got to get him some like neon ties or something like that. This poor guy, he really wants a guy. He really
And
wants it. But
I
with
want to
Trump,
wait. I want to point out something
okay,
here.
okay,
We
okay.
have nothing against gay guys. We
No,
have
oh
nothing.
no. It would be great if they let themselves out of the closet, but I realize that is sometimes a very difficult thing for someone to do. They have all sorts of ideas about it, and probably, all the years of being kind of forced by society to hide it. I get it. It's
So
not a
they're
dunk.
oppressed.
They are, yeah,
They're,
they are in a
they
way.
are.
But they had this shot of him, and I think it's Dana. I want to say Dana White, of him and Trump coming out to the little balcony on the White House and then all the way down the stairs and coming down to the thing. They had two camera guys. One is on a like walking backwards with his camera right on Trump and the other guy. And then he had a guy behind him leading him so he wouldn't trip over anything. It was one long shot all the way from the balcony of the White House, all the way down and up to where they were going to sit at the cage, right? And 10 feet behind him, who's walking? Melania by herself. Barbie.
Barbie.
Barbie, right? So if the woman
Well,
doesn't
then
look
she
like
comes.
Barbie, then She must be a man.
Well, she's kind of an evil Barbie because she's
Oh,
always
she's an evil Barbie. Yeah, but I mean the comment about Michelle Obama, if she's not going to look like Barbie, I mean, does Michelle Obama even own one of those black and white striped one-piece bathing suits? I think that's like a, uniform for all of the Barbies.
for all the porn stars. I
Mm,
mean, I
for all the Mar-a-Lago girls.
I saw a picture of Melania with doing a stripper pole thing. So I guess she's into porno or something. So they're probably not going to call her a man.
No,
But
because she's a Barbie, so they're not going to call her a man. But Michelle Obama is smart, very strong, strong in character as well as physically strong, and really has high, high, high integrity. And so she can't possibly be a normal woman in their eyes because the homo envious man can't allow that to be true.
wow. No, but you're absolutely right. I just love Michelle Obama.
I do too.
And
Did you hear that speech she was given for Barack Obama? Like 10 seconds of it, and I'm tearing up and just about on the floor. Jeez, it was great.
well, and I didn't hear the whole thing, but I just I just know whatever she does, it's always for the good. It's always for to uplift people, to she wants to feed people, she wants to help with the children.
Yeah.
Um, she's an attorney. She graduated from Harvard Law School. Um, she's very accomplished. And
Mhm.
and then I found, I looked up this thing about calling a woman a man, and I found out that it's really a thing that's been around for a while.
Mhm.
That I still don't understand it, but that it is mainly they really focus on black women. And I thought, whoa, wait a minute. You are fooling around with the wrong kind of woman.
Oh yeah.
Black black women, I love them too because they just don't take any shit.
No.
They don't they know
And and they have been driving the Democratic vote in this country for like the last 30 years. Without
wow.
that, without them, Democrats wouldn't get elected for the last 30 years.
Well, and I'm
They're
thinking,
a force. They are a force.
look at all the black women that have been put in a position to take on Trump. And like Letitia James, my
Mhm.
hero, and they really screwed her over, but mainly it was because the Supreme Court says a president has immunity against everything. So she never got to do what she needed to do.
She will.
Uh,
Eventually, I
and
think she will.
and instead he went after her for some lame thing
Mortgage.
about,
A mortgage thing.
yeah.
I tried to, yeah, I know.
And then who was that black judge?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh God, yes, you do.
I
You
do.
do. You
Okay.
do.
Let me
I
look it
can't
up.
remember her name right now, but she oversaw some things, and he didn't directly go right after her. The other person would be Jack Smith, which is not a black woman at all. But he wanted to kind of run him out of the country.
Are you
Anyways,
talking about Tanya Chutkin?
I think I might be.
Yeah.
All of these different black women that are
Yep.
attorney generals, judges.
Oh, the
Uh,
one from Georgia. The one from Georgia. I can't remember. Fani Willis.
Fonnie Willis. Oh, and we haven't heard about her for a
Oh no,
while.
I don't think she's in that position anymore. I think they had an election and somebody else is in that position now.
Oh, okay.
She never
But
got to bring her case.
all of these black women that were assigned to take on different cases, they didn't choose it.
Yeah.
But whoever chose them just thought, no, these women can handle it, and they could. But
Well,
you
in a
can't.
lot of cases in the courts, if there's a whole bunch of judges in there, it's almost like in Florida, it's like they have a spinning wheel, and if their name comes up for that case, then they get that case. It's almost like they just pick a name out of the hat.
Oh, okay,
But
yeah.
so they do not choose it. They are not chosen for it. It's the luck of the draw, basically.
And that's kind of what happened with Judge Cannon down in Florida.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
unfortunately
we're
it
starting
is.
to hear bits and pieces about her too. And trust me, in the future, we will hear that she didn't do quite the right thing.
What? Judge? Oh, are you kidding me? That's like saying her husband's family is associated with the South American mafia. I mean, that's crazy.
And speaking of black families, powerful black families, the
Mhm,
Obamas, when I was going through and trying to figure out what this thing was about calling black women a man, it's just so stupid. Um,
mhm.
I was thinking, oh my God, when they were talking about Obama, that he put together this peace deal with Iran back in 2015, and I just started floating into memory lane. Do you remember what it was like? 8 years of Obama was like heaven, heaven compared
Choirs of angels are singing in my head right now.
compared to what it is right now. I mean, it's hard to even remember just how joyful and we just didn't have to worry every single
Yeah.
day about that somebody was going to take away our rights or somebody was going to take away our Medicaid, our
Yep.
Social Security, our food benefits. We didn't have to worry about any of that. Immigration was,
We dared to dream of free college. We
yes,
dared. We dared
yeah,
to dream that. And Medicare for all. We dared to dream it when he was in office.
because he was just wonderful.
Hope.
Just absolutely wonderful. And he was the hippest, coolest president we've ever had.
Yep.
He didn't even mind breaking into song or doing a dance or, he was just, and he's so articulate. But I thought, oh God, will we ever see something like that again? I don't know. That
I hope
just, it's,
so.
I just, the fact that we've had to go through Trump twice now, just the PTSD is just overwhelming across
Yeah,
the country of having to deal with this
it
kind of
really is.
stuff.
It really
But
is.
anyway, I just kind of wanted to mention that about Obama because he was just such a joy.
Right. He really was.
So now getting back to withholding funds, the latest thing that Trump's doing is he wants to withhold unemployment funding over fraud concerns. Because we know that everybody that gets on unemployment really, come on, they should be
They
working, right?
they planned it and they organized so that they could get money from the government.
Yeah, and
Nobody.
I'm not saying that there isn't some people that would try to take advantage of that system, but I'm thinking why what Trump is saying or his administration is we're going to remove the funding. And so the state because the unemployment really is handled by the state
Yeah.
and the federal money actually helps keep the administration, the admins of unemployment, the people that work for unemployment, keep the doors open. I don't
Mhm.
think that they're really giving that much money for unemployment. Unemployment is paid through your payroll taxes, and
Yeah. There's a
every
fund for it. Yeah.
everybody pays in across the country, and each state has their own rules and regulations. So as usual, Trump is finding fraud. It's always a fraud. It's always a bad thing. And so the best way to deal with it is just jerk that money away, and we're not going to help them anymore because they're spending taxpayers' money on fraudulent, I don't know, exchanges or
Well,
whatever.
but see, this is the pot calling the kettle black. As soon as he says that, you know that he has just identified a pot of money that he would like to have in his own bank account. So he just wants that money in his bank account. He may put it, in some offshore account so we can't ever get it back, but that's what that's about. Social Security, we paid into it, government just distributes it. Medicaid, Medicare, we pay into it, government just distributes it. Unemployment, we pay into it. Government just distributes it. He wants all those pots of money. I think it's remarkable that he's almost 2 years into his administration. He's just now figuring that out about unemployment. He
Well,
knows nothing. He knows nothing about the government or how it works.
I am just, I'm just shocked that, okay, they go through all this stuff. They had Musk going through all our records and looking at Social Security and finding all this fraud, supposedly.
Mhm,
Overpayments is really what they were finding.
mhm.
Come to find out, the people that were getting overpaid didn't know that it was an overpayment. And if you've ever applied for Social Security, you would understand that.
Yeah,
But
you can't figure out how they're paying you or what they're paying you. It's so
yeah,
confusing.
it is totally confusing.
Yeah.
So what do? They go ahead and say, okay, we're just gonna, is they're also threatening a 25% cut on Social Security because of fraud. And I'm thinking, well, if you guys have researched this so much that you know that there's fraud, you know how the fraud was committed. Why in the world don't you just go ahead and find a different system so you can prevent that fraud instead of just taking away everybody's money? Figure out how the fraud is happening and a better way to catch it right off the bat so you're the one wasting our money
So,
by
and I
not.
go back to my original argument. It's just because there's a pot of money and he wants it. And, you know how he has to delay all of everything? He just delay in his court cases. So taking just a portion of the money is that in reverse. So I'll just take some of the money now, and then I'll take a little bit more, and then I'll take a little bit more until finally he just takes it all. That is his strategy.
You
That is
just
exactly his strategy.
reminded me. You just reminded me. Now, back actually before he was elected, he owed a lot of money, I think, to the state of New York, uh, for all the business deal, for lying about how much his
You mean those
businesses were valued.
34 felony counts that he was found
Those,
guilty of by Letitia
those,
James? Yes.
yeah. And then Letitia James said, "Well, you've got to,
Yep.
um,
You gotta pay.
and before it be, but he had to put up some money.
Oh, yeah, he has to put up a bond.
He had
Yeah.
to put up a bond, and he
Mhm.
did that. Well,
Barely,
since then,
barely.
somehow, uh, that whole thing has been dismissed or something. It's not happening anymore. And so, anyway, he ends up with all this money that he put up for a bond that he gets back because he's president. I don't know. I don't know. I don't understand it, but it's somewhere on the internet.
I'm
And
looking.
here's what I heard is that he took all that money
God,
and
I couldn't find
reinvested
it.
it into the stock market, which he manipulates. So he has taken this. God, it was a huge amount of money uh, that he had to put up as a bond, and he somehow got it back. And now he's manipulated things to where he'll take that money and probably quadruple it, if not more.
Okay, he did the felony charges did not get dismissed.
No, not the charges, the bond money.
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
No,
okay.
he's
It's
stuck
too
with
long. It's
those.
too long. It's too long for me to read. But
Okay,
anyway, all
so
right.
this is kind of what I heard. I could be wrong, but I don't think so because he is, for some reason, just making out like a bandit. I mean, he is making so much money off his presidential thing that can't keep up. Can't
Yeah.
keep up.
Okay.
All right. So, another thing about voting, this is really bugging me because I'm so worried that he's going to rig the vote. And
Mhm.
everybody's kind of worried about that at this point.
Mhm.
But right now, his thing is about mail-in voting,
Oh, God.
and it's going before the Supreme Court, and they're supposed to decide on it either later this month or early in July. It says the one thing they're disputing is because he'll dispute every single little nitpicking thing about this. It says whether states may count mail-in ballots that arrive after election day,
Oh.
even if they are postmarked on time.
Mhm.
Now, 16 states allow this grace period, but they have to have the postmark on time.
Mhm.
So this is going through the Supreme Court, uh, and you know that if the Supreme Court, though, however they decide it, could upset and affect all mail-in voting, and it will go beyond this thing about this grace period, even though they're postmarked on time. So,
Well, this is the whole reason that he had to dismantle the post office, the post
well,
service.
no, he wants the post office to be working for them, for
Right,
him.
right. That's all he wants them to do. He doesn't want them to deliver mail anymore. But they're federal
Right.
employees,
He
so he
well, he
doesn't
wants
care
that
what they're
that
doing.
we talked about this I think last time or the time before, where he wants to have the post office have a list of names, and
Yes.
then they compare the ballots to the list of names. And I thought, genius, because there's no way in hell you would ever get a ballot if you weren't on that list. So what are you telling these people to do?
Waste
Verify
their
some
time and pay them for it.
exactly. It is the craziest, dumbest thing I have ever heard.
But he's a terrible businessman. He's a terrible negotiator. He's been bankrupt like 7 times. His dad thought he was an idiot. His dad had to keep bailing him out. This guy doesn't know which end is up, and now he's in dementia. He's probably got really late stage Alzheimer's. He's sick. He's barely functional. He can't sleep, so he's not thinking straight anyway, and he's an idiot. So can somebody
Okay,
just put him out of his misery, please?
but I just want to say that if the Supreme Court rules against this grace period for states, it says here that it would significantly change mail in voting nationwide.
Mhm.
Uh, I don't know why they would. Why would they? It means that the person voted in time. It got the little stamp on there that says, yes, you did it by 8 o'clock on November 8th or whatever. Uh, you know, and I got a feeling because Trump is making such a big stink about this that his buddies on the Supreme Court again will do something horrible
Heinous, yeah.
and go
I
ahead
don't know.
and
I don't know though. They've made a few decisions that were really like, no, we're not touching that with a 10-foot pole. So I don't know that that's a slam dunk that they would vote on that in his favor
well, and
because
even if they did, they
it's such
can't.
a huge issue. It's such a huge issue. If they start to dismantle that and put the state, the take away the state's authority about their voting, that's I don't I don't think they'll go there. I don't think they'll go there. Too many other things will hinge on that.
Well, but
I don't think they want that.
who knew they'd give blanket immunity to a president?
Well, and that was a real stupid one that I think they regret, and I think they're gonna find a way to reverse that. But the problem too for the Supreme Court is that there are a lot of things that Trump is trying to enable that is really bad for the Supreme Court. One is he's just pissing off so many people that none of his people that he backs are getting elected. He's never going to get elected again. And the group of cronies around him, none of them are going to get elected. So if they don't get elected, the Supreme Court kind of knows if it's a bunch of Democrats in by November, we're probably out.
True, and that is you're absolutely right. If that was to happen, that's what's going to happen at the
So
Supreme Court level.
they could just delay just like Trump does, bring it up to like October when they start their new session and just be like, "Oh, it's just not on the ballot yet. It's just not on the docket yet."
Well, and the thing that they were talking about mail-in voting, even if they changed it right this instant, it can't go into effect
Exactly.
until after
Exactly.
the November thing, and
Exactly.
that's why Trump's doing it. It's a November thing. But
Yeah.
let's talk about the voting of the Republicans and what is going on here. It's been a really bad week for Trump.
Yeah.
Um,
Really
his
bad.
his buddies and the his buddies are kind of like he's not getting along too well with John Thune,
Yeah. Speaker of
Senator.
speaker.
Well, no, he's the Senate Majority Leader.
Doesn't that make him the speaker? No.
No, Speaker is Mikey.
That's in the House of Representatives.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Isn't
you're saying for the senators. No, he is the Senate Majority Leader, but what he has said, and they're talking now. Well, the dispute between him and Trump has to do with the Save America Act, which requires proof of a U.S. citizenship to register to vote in federal elections and mandate photo ID to cast a ballot. It was stalled in the Senate because it lacks the 60 votes needed to overcome a filibuster. Senate Majority Leader John Thune has said Republicans simply don't have the votes.
But he is the main guy. I mean, he's
But
what
he's the he for the Senate. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
yeah,
Yes.
he's what Mitch McConnell wishes he was and was for a long time.
Right, right. And so what Trump has just said done is he said, well, uh, if you he wants to tie the Save Act or Save America Act to something called the FISA Act, a FISA
FISA,
reauthorization.
FISA.
FISA.
Mhm.
It figures I didn't pronounce it correctly. FISA reauthorization, saying he will not approve FISA unless the Save Act is included. It's just, and what Thune is saying, we just don't have it. So I guess nothing's going to go through because we can't do it because you won't do it because you won't get off your high
And I
horse.
think Thune's doing something really smart because I think Thune realizes, like many Republicans do, that it is a death sentence to be tied to Trump.
Oh, yeah, that's what they're all figuring out. Yes.
Yeah.
And they're not going to get voted back in. Now, I guess they've recently had a vote somewhere where a couple people that were Republicans, they didn't really get in, but they didn't vote for the person that Trump wanted to get in that will go head to head with somebody else in November.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's just
It's fallen apart for him. It's fallen apart.
well, the Republican Party is falling apart.
It's fallen apart. It is
You know,
nowhere.
they're just self imploding because they don't want to be connected to this mess. On the other hand, they can't get away from Trump, and so Trump just threatens them over and over again to get what he wants.
Well, and it's
So,
such a splintered group. You have probably the 6 guys that are MAGA, right? And then you've got an outer group to them that are like, yeah, we don't want to be threatened. We don't want our families threatened and whatnot. So if we really have to, we'll vote with them. And then you got, the Republicans that don't, for some reason, they don't care as much, but they're not voting with him. And then you have the Democrats who are really Republican light, who are all paid for by corporations, and they might as well be called Republicans. So you got all this splintering, and none of those groups agrees with the other one on what's important to vote on. None of them.
okay, and one thing I do want to say though is that everybody keeps talking about the blue wave and that everything's going to happen. That the Democrats, even prominent people are thinking the Democrats are definitely going to take over. I hope and pray that's true, but I don't want everybody to think it's a shoe in. It's not.
Right. Right. Right.
So, we got to really stay on our toes about this
Yep.
voting thing
Hmm.
because Trump is going to nitpick and do everything he can to like that even if the Democrats did win, he'll want to have a recount or something and try to
Hmm.
dismiss a bunch of votes because they were immigrants or they were illegals or they were
Hmm.
uh, it was a fraudulent ballot, uh, just anything to do that. So he will do whatever he can to screw it up because he knows a number one. Once he will be removed. Let's say he got removed. When he gets removed as president, he's no longer got that immunity, and all those 34 felonies you were talking about become real,
Hmm.
and they go right after him.
Hmm.
So part of the reason he wanted to be president was to avoid prison and
And
work.
think about what he has threatened to all of those around him in order for them to make sure he stays in office as long as possible until the moment up until he dies.
Right.
He's got to have threatened them with just immense hurt to their families and career, and I'll set
Well,
the
yes,
dogs on you.
of
Yeah.
course he has.
Yeah.
Of course he has. And I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene has told us exactly what was happening. Her
Mm-hmm.
son is, they're holding. They want her to shut up, or there's something will happen to her son. And as
Mm-hmm.
you notice lately, she pretty much has shut up. Every once in a while, she'll say something. But yeah, that's how they work. They want to run the country like a mob boss.
No, they want to run the world.
Well, maybe they want to
The
run the
group,
world, but they're starting with this country.
yeah, they're starting, right, because they still think that the United States is the most powerful country in the world. But due to their actions, it no longer is. It just isn't. You know what
Well,
might be, who might be the most powerful country in the world in the next 2 weeks? Iran, because they're going to control all the oil.
well, that
They're going to have $300 billion to repair their country, and they're going to be making, what did they say they're going to make per year off of that Strait of Hormuz? Probably like another 300 billion or some shit. I don't know. Let me
oh, a
look it
lot,
up.
a lot, a lot, a
Yeah.
lot. And even Barack Obama did come out and say that he was glad that Trump was trying to get this war stopped, because basically, uh, Obama back in 2015 did what he did specifically to avoid a war, and then Trump steps in. But at least, well, Obama is such a graceful guy. He didn't totally put down Trump. He did say some things that were like that. He shouldn't have never ripped up the deal uh, in the first place. But it's too late for that, and everybody knows that. And so now he's got himself in a position where Trump doesn't know how to stop this war.
No. I just Googled something and the answers are really funny. So I just asked, how much money will Iran make each year from the Strait of Hormuz if they sign the agreement? And it says, well, under the interim MOU, they won't be able to make any money. It's mandated to be toll free during the 60-day renegotiation period. But right under it, Al Jazeera says MOUs. Oh, wait, not Al Jazeera. Another one, IranInternational.com says U.S. Iran deal could hand Tehran more than $60 billion a year if
Well,
they're charging for the Strait of Hormuz, which they will, because there's nothing in their agreement that says that they can't. It says 60 days toll free, and then we're renegotiating. Iran is never going to agree to not be able to charge.
when you talk about, see, I don't know. I don't know exactly what you're talking about. Are you saying that the boats that go in and out of there are going to have to pay a fee to get in and out of there?
That's what they're doing now. Yeah, that's what they're
Okay.
doing now.
Well, I thought they were setting up mines all throughout these.
They did, so that they can control where the boats go, so that they can find them and make sure they pay the toll.
Wow. Wow. Well,
I'm telling you, they are going to be the most powerful country on the planet.
well,
They
yeah,
are.
if they control the energy, then
That's
yeah.
right. And that's
So,
a finite thing. I mean, fossil fuel will not last forever, but right now, most of the world still runs on fossil fuel. A lot of countries are trying to go to renewable energy, but that has not really come about yet.
well, and I think our president is not up for that either. He's kind of old school.
Mhm.
Doesn't really want to, doesn't really want to do that. But yeah, I mean, I just hope that they do stop the war. I do
I
hope
do
that they
too.
get this straightened
I
out.
do too. It's
Um,
horrible.
but Trump is in, he's just really in dire straits, and
He's in over his head. He can't do it.
he did it to himself.
You know what? It would be so easy to just lay him face down in that goddamn reflecting pool. Just let him take a few drinks of water. It'd be so easy. It's not that deep. They could just roll him over in there. They already got guys standing around with poles in the thing. They could just kind of push him over.
What were they doing with the poles? Trying to strain the algae out?
I
I
don't
mean, this
know.
this thing is huge,
It's
huge.
huge. I know, and they had pictures of the guy with like a little gallon bottle pouring hydrogen peroxide. I'm like, what are you doing?
A
What
gallon
are
bottle
you
of
doing?
peroxide or something? I've never
Yeah,
heard of that.
you and I grew up with a pool, so we know.
Yeah,
Anybody that's been swimming in a pool or been on a swim team or had a pool knows that you use chlorine to clean the water in the algae.
yeah.
That's what you use. What are they doing with hydrogen peroxide?
What are they
Hydrogen
talking about?
peroxide.
That they've got a new form of they've got a special strain of algae
Oh,
growing in
that's
there.
bullshit. There's no special strain of algae. Algae has been around longer than humans on this planet. There's no new special strain. And by the way, hydrogen peroxide strips paint. So
Oh,
of
I
course
told you the paint is peeling
the paint is just coming
already.
off in big sheets. Yeah. Yeah, and it's right back down to what it was before. Well, that tells you something about how they originally covered that reflecting pool. That was damn good stuff because it's still there underneath the stupid paint that they put on.
Well, and what was it? Something like $14 million or more to
You want me to Google it? Yeah, I
actually,
will.
okay, go ahead. The reflector, yeah, it's 14
14
million,
million.
14 million renovation of the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool has
How
turned
many
in
millions in hydrogen peroxide?
it says the 14 million renovation of the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool has turned into a public embarrassment. Oh no,
I
really?
feel so bad for Donald and Melania. They must be
Within
so
days
embarrassed.
within days of reopening, the pool turned green from an algae bloom caused by dormant pipes and warm weather. Crews have used hydrogen peroxide and nanobubble treatments to clean it, but the newly applied American flag blue paint is already peeling. I know we said this earlier in the show, but I like to say it again because I just would love to see the paint. That was just the dumbest thing
So
to
dumb.
paint it. To paint
So,
it.
so dumb. Just a bunch of idiots. And by the
And
way,
what don't they understand about the reflection pool? This is the water will look appear to be blue because of the sky.
well,
Okay.
if you have like water, if you have like white or cream color underneath it, then yes. But them putting the blue underneath it is just dumb.
Well, I
It's
think they
just,
blocked out blue altogether.
yeah,
And
it's
then
just
the algae
dumb.
came in. Oh boy.
That blue probably helped the algae grow because it likes the darkness, right? It
Yeah,
grows
you're
better in
right. You're
it grows
right.
better in darkness. So, hey, they're batting 1,000 about grow. If they wanted to go into algae farming, I think you got your man there because I
Well, and
think
so I think the best thing to do is just get rid of Medicaid, get rid of Social Security, fire all the federal workers. Um,
and do an algae farm.
No, and put all the money into renovations. That like that big huge arch he wants that
Yeah,
an airplane could
yeah,
hit.
let's do that. Yeah,
Let's let's do that. Yes.
I
So
don't need Social Security. I want to see a big gaudy airplane in a brand spanking new hangar that nobody needed. I want to see
they've taken that $400 million airplane and turned it. Do you see the pictures? I mean, it's gorgeous, but it's like a flying
palace.
hotel.
Yeah,
Yeah, like a flying palace. It is. It is like a flying palace. But the other plane was pretty old. Other planes, excuse me, were pretty old.
but
So they're putting up.
they were already beginning to renovate some of those planes. They were already doing that. They already earmarked the money. They already started the process. They did not need to do this other plane. It's
Well,
I'm so frustrated by the whole thing. It's just so stupid.
well, they're not. They just don't have the money to pay for Social Security, and they don't have the money to pay for
Oh,
now unemployment. Well, then it was. I don't know if they don't have the money or if it's the fraud, but all the money that they're supposed well, and the money from tariffs, where the hell did that go? It probably went
Yeah,
into the plane.
yeah, probably went into the plane. Here's the thing though, they don't have the money for Social Security. That's our money. We paid into it. We sure as hell
Well,
have the money because we pay into it. Every goddamn paychecks we pay into it. So the money is there. It's our money. Give it back to us. Same with Medicare. We pay for that. Same with unemployment. We pay for that. The government doesn't subsidize that crap. It's our money. It's so dumb.
well,
Oh, he's such a thief. He's such a grifter. It's ridiculous. You
well,
think
and they kept saying that the Social Security within the next 6 or 7 years or something wouldn't be as sustainable. I tell you right now that the Democrats have a plan for Social Security to make it sustainable. Ask Bernie Sanders. I mean, they have been talking about this for a long time, but they don't
yeah,
have a chance to do anything with it because Republicans stop it. When Trump says, I'm not going to touch Social Security, first of all, he's lying. But if he doesn't touch Social Security, he's going to let it go into uh, oh
but-
God, I can't remember the word. But anyway, he's going to make it so that it's not sustainable. So it won't be able to pay everybody. And so
mhm,
then you'll start seeing it's a very scary thing what he's doing with Social Security. It
yeah,
scares people. Please, everybody, vote Democrat. No matter who you are, what party
yeah.
you favor,
Even
vote
if they're kind
Democrat.
of a even if they're kind of a lousy Democrat, if they are a Democrat, they're going to be better than the Republican counterpart. So please vote Democrat.
And
I know Cory Booker in my own state, kind of a traitor, but half the time he does good stuff and half the time he's just a traitor. But he's better than the alternative. I thought long and hard. We just had a I don't know if it was an election or a primary. I think it was a primary. And I held on to my ballot looking at because it was a write-in ballot. Yay. And I hung on to that thing for a week, just staring at Cory Booker's name and going, do I want to vote for this dude? I don't like what he's doing. I don't like what he's doing. I had to vote for him. So if I can do it, you guys, you can do it. It's the right thing to do for your country.
absolutely, absolutely. And,
And for those of us who are going to be getting Social Security, it's the right thing to do.
right. So we're coming to the end of this show today. I think we had a good discussion. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you will like and subscribe to our channel.
And
And
don't hold it against my sister that I curse so much. Just get over it, okay? This is the way people talk in real America, okay? And in New Jersey in particular, this is the way we talk. So,
okay. All right. So we will see you in another week.
mhm.
Um, yeah, I was going to say something else about our shows, but I'll wait and see what happens with it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Please, yes, please subscribe, and we'll see you guys really soon. I know that we're not just perfect on how we do this, but we never will be. So if you don't mind it being a little bit screwed up, we will get to the point eventually. Thanks for watching. See you guys soon.